Welcome, Dream Asian Academy. I am your host, Yunus. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the bridge funnel. In last video that I did, I went and dig deep into the technical aspects of building a bridge funnel. So we spoke about how to structure your funnel, how to design your offer, how to go deep into your uh, lead to into your avatar, into researching your dream avatar. So we went through all the aspect you need to understand so that you can build the right bridge funnel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about completely different aspects, which is all the small things that happens inside the bridge funnel. For example, inside the bridge funnel, you will need to add a video. So in today's presentation, I will speak about the script, how to create a script that can allow you to deliver that 2 3 minutes video to your audience and insert it into your bridge funnel. So all these things we're going to be talking about it, and I will talk about some very interesting aspects on how to use paid ads and how to justify paying for ads. So a lot of things that we are going to speak about. So stick with me, give me your full attention. It's going to be taking maybe around 15 20 minutes, but it's all worth it. I can promise you that. So without further ado, let me add my presentation and let me make this big. All right. Okay, so I've been a life agent. So this is a full disclosure before I even start. I have been a life agent, and I spent almost 2 years selling life agents. And I can say with complete openness, I failed and I flopped in a big time. And this, now that I been out of it for many years now, in hindsight, I ask myself, what happened? What really happened? Why you couldn't succeed doing that, even though I have all the potential to be successful. I know how to speak to people. I'm friendly. I'm everything. I have experience selling a lot. All my career has been in sales. So why did I really flop? And the reason why I find out that I failed is because of what I'm going to talk about. But before that, is because I did not have a clear perspective and a clear path on how to conduct my work. And that can be fatal if you are trying to do something without a framework. So we need to have a framework. The first thing that we need to have is a long-term vision. Understand every single sales in general and high ticket in particular rely on having a long breath. If you do not have a long breath, then it's better not to even approach selling, because it's all about follow up. It's all about building relationships. It's all about being there at the right time in the right place. We are not selling when we want. We are selling when people are ready. And when they are ready, they need to have us present as the first choice. That's the first thing. The second thing is a lack of day-to-day processes. So there is a lot to mention here, but what I would like to speak about is just if you don't have a clear idea about what's the different scope of action that you can get engaged in, so that you can create more, you can attract more people and get more conversation going on, going and using your referrals and using your friends and family and using all the different classic ways of generating leads is completely fine, and it's proved to work. But it takes so much effort, and it takes so much, you need to be taking a lot of rejection and so much of that kind of behavior. What we try to do is we need to understand how we can build a system that can feed itself and generate for us leads on a daily basis. So that's skills. That's real skill. So we need to know, in addition, we need to know how to approach people, how to speak to them, how to follow up with them. All these are very important. The next thing is a lack of skill sets. That's what I just mentioned. And the skill sets, for example, if you've been able, for example, inside the customer journey, there are many stages. For example, you need to cold call or you need to cold message. Then you need, after cold messaging, you need to start a conversation. You start you cold message, which is start a conversation. Then once you start a conversation, you move a conversation into a business talk. Once you move a conversation into a business talk, then you request or you invite people to sales calls, and then you close. So maybe this journey, you have problems. You don't have a problem in reaching out to people. You don't have a problem on starting conversations, developing, asking questions, but you are having problem in moving people from conversation into sales calls. If that's the case, then you have a deficiency inside a very specific skill set, and you need to be aware of it. And that's the problem. We are, most of the time, we don't even allocate the right effort into the right deficiencies. And if you are just putting yourself out there and going and pushing without trying to uh, fill the gap, the right gap, instead of just pushing yourself into doing everything, then it's going to be hard. Next is lack of marketing strategies. This can be broad, but the idea is that we want to make sure that we understand when I am able to, when am I will be able to run paid ads, when am I will be able to scale, when I am will be able to automate and systemize my procedures, when am I be able to, when should I start the having a standard operating procedures. So all these questions, having a clear marketing strategy behind your back, understanding where you're going in your path, that's power. That's really power. So to answer all these questions, we're going to be tackling the following. We are going to justify why having a bridge funnel is an investment that's worth it. We are going to speak about the break-even scenario, which is called the $1 million scenario. And this is just an extra information. You don't need to know about it right now, but it's so much important that it will make huge difference in your life and in your business. How to structure your video script. This is powerful because if you don't know how you're gonna talk, what you're gonna be talking about, then it's hard for you to even build something. So you need to know exactly what you're going to talk about. How to write masterclass copy headlines. How to attract, get curiosity going on. That's power. How to take advantage of AI prompting. That's very, very powerful. If you just go ahead and just ask ChatGPT all kind of questions, you will get all kind of answers. Garbage in, garbage out. So you need to select and you need to distill to the maximum what kind of information you are delivering your GPT, so that can give you the exact information that you can implement and get result. Creating appealing lead magnets, how to set up your automation. All this we're going to be talking about it, and I want your full attention. So in terms of most agents, what happened now? Most agents, they struggle, but they think it's part of the journey. That's the state of mind of every single agent out there, which is true. It's really part of the journey to struggle, but it's not part of the journey to keep struggling and to keep having the same issues. If you are unable to move people from a simple conversation to or cold message into a sales call, there is a gap somewhere that you need to address. So when competition becomes extra high, when there is saturation, and when there is disruption in the market, then we need to see things a little bit different. This is very important. And let me tell you why this is important. So, generally speaking, there are only two levers that we can use inside our approach so that we can create success. There is either a marketing approach based approach or a product based approach, meaning that I will be pushing hard on marketing or I will be pushing hard on delivering the great product that serves people, and the product will work, will do the marketing on itself. Now it's very important that we understand, since these are conditions in in the ground that happens once there is a lot of competition, once there is a lot of saturations, or there is a disruption. Now, the first variable is what to use. Is it marketing or is it focusing on the product? It's obvious if you're selling life insurance, then you are selling somebody else's product, your company's product. Therefore, you can't touch this variable. That's not up to you to change anything in the product. It's you have to sell it as it is. So, what is the other option? The alternative is to sell, to focus, and to put a lot of pressure onto marketing. That's where you have to make your effort goes. Next, now that we understand what we have to focus on, then there is the next question. There are two things: there is the sales and there is marketing. And we need to identify and define what each one is. Sales is making an offer. Basically what he sells is to present an offer and to ask for close. That's all it is. If you are going and sitting with the family around the dinner table, you make your presentation, and at the end of the presentation you close them, you ask them for sale. That's called sales. You are closing. Now, what is marketing? Marketing is a process of change of belief with the intent of sell. So marketing is not sell. Marketing is the process of changing the belief so that we can get to a point where we ask for a sell. So if the idea here, if you let one goes above the other, or if you put more pressure and more energy into one over the other, you will have an imbalance and everything will cease to work. So you need to carry this process in a very equilibrium way. You have to keep that balance going on. If you focus one day or one week on marketing, you need to alternate and go for the sell and vice versa. Now, there is three major things that we need to be aware of that helps us create super successful marketing and sales. They are the brand, the audience, and the systems that we use. The brand, it's a different, should be a different episode that we're gonna be doing sometimes later. The audience, we're gonna be I think I spoke about it in the last video. Yes, I spoke about it in the last video where I did a deep dive into researching your dream avatar. So you can go back to that and research it and make sure that we're gonna be talking about it also by the end of this conversation here. And you need to listen to what I'm about to say about it. And the systems is basically everything that help you create sales. A bridge funnel is a system. If you don't have a system, then you are shooting yourself in the foot because you are not leveraging yourself enough. It's that simple. Okay, so why bother building a bridge funnel? Like I mentioned, if you don't have a system, then it's just gonna be a waste of time. Now, the power of having a bridge funnel is being able to clone ourselves so that people can reach out anytime while we are sleeping to the site that we have a page, web page, get introduced to what we have to offer, insert their information, the system move them into our email sequence, and the system will ask them through ManyChat, will ask them a few questions and present them with the assessment quiz, which goes and qualify them. And at the end of the day, every single prospect that we reach out to will have a clear understanding about where they are on the buying journey, and we can easily put them in the right place and do the right follow-up with them. This is amazingly important because not everybody is at the same place in terms of their buying journey, and you can treat somebody who will be ready in a year versus somebody who can be ready in a month. They need a completely different form of value of information, and you need to approach them differently. Okay? And that's why having the right lead magnet, having the right bridge funnel is important. Now, another way of looking at it is through the pure statistics. If we know that 90% of all sales happen after the follow-up, then it makes complete sense to have a front-end funnel, which is a bridge funnel, so that we can collect the list and then do the follow up later on. And here I need to stop because not everybody in the industry of the life insurance industry are aware of the power of building a list. The problem is that agent they rely solely on what their company tell them to do, which is okay. But if you try to build a business, then you need to have your own list. You don't want to be relying on the company's list that gives you, if they do give you. And not even that, you want to have, once you build the list, you don't just send it to the company to buy. You want to have them inside the vessel, that you can follow up with them, that you can nurture them, that you can stay top of mind with them, so that you have a value added. You cannot just create a reach out, spend so much effort, so much money, so much resources, and at the end of the day you lose everything. You don't have no list. That's really it's like, it's very bad. Okay, so it's proven by experience, if you send people directly to the offer or the company's website, you lose those people. You won't build any relationship with them, and you won't be able to build the list. And only a small fraction, when you do send somebody to the website to buy, or to the company's website to buy, or to the offer, directly to the offer, it's only a very small fraction of that market that they go and buy. And the rest, what happened to the rest? You lose them. So all those efforts are gone. We ought to be able to build the business first for ourselves, not for our company. And this is why bridge funnel is important, because it helps us build that. So I hope that I made my case here. So in terms of what's the break-even scenario, this is a very, very important, and I'm not going to expand too much about it because it's not the right time. But I just want to create an aha moment in your head, so that you can, once you are ready to put money inside the paid ads, you'll be able to do so. Next, the idea is that, let's imagine you take $50 and you put it into paid ads. I'm talking here. I'm not talking here about you're gonna tell me there is compliance around paid ads, or there's this or there's that. I'm talking in terms, if you can have that possibility. If not, then fine. But if you have the possibility, there are companies that allow their agents to do paid ads. It needs to be very, very, it respects all the norms and all the copy and everything. But I'm just giving you an idea about the power of paid ads. Now, in terms of, let's say you invest $50 to generate, and you generated 100 leads. Out of those 100, 20 people they convert. They opt in. Out of those 20 people, 10 people they schedule a call. Okay, and out of those 10 people, 2 to 3 people they bought. This is generally the math. 20% convert, 10% they schedule a call, and between 2 and 5% they buy. So now imagine if you are selling a $500 policy. I'm just giving this as a baseline. Then probably you will be selling like $1,000 and generating out of that $50 investment that you just made. And what happened? You can take that $50 out of $100,000, and you can reinvest it and keep doing it over and over again until you create the profit. So it's a very powerful way of creating a flywheel effect that gets you leads, in the same time put you in a completely profit place. Okay, so this is just as an info that you can keep in your mind. So once the time is ready, then you can do it. Now, in terms of the video scripts, a lot of people they ask themselves, what should they put as a video script? Where should I start in talking to people? What should I tell my audience? So this is a quick overview of what you should be talking about. The first thing that you want to do is to do a welcome. So this is the welcome. Generally is a quick origin story, and how you originally started using the product, or how you started working for the company selling what you do. So you give them a quick overview of how this happens, and this generally gives us a good start to get people into what we are about to give them. Next, we want to introduce the issue. We want to speak about the issue, explain what they will be getting and what they will gain by subscribing or answering the questions that we are putting with, that we are giving them. Next, we want to expand about the value. We want to expand on the value proposition, provide them with an idea of what this is about, explain what they will be getting, and once they finish the form, then you tell them the instruction on what to do. And finally, you give them a call to action, list the three big advantages, and give them a call to action by either filling up the form and submitting it or scheduling a call or what have you. This is basically an overview of how a skeleton of a video script needs to go, but I will give you more information in terms of how to do it. So a plug and play script to record a 2-minute intro video that builds the trust and drives action. When getting ready to deliver your 2-3 minute script, you need to make sure you are not going out of subject. So the idea is that once you answer all these questions, you give them to Claude and you tell him, hey Claude, can you please enhance for me this text? And this is my dream customer. This is what I'm trying to deliver. This is what I'm trying to get them to do. And I want you to just give me a better text so that I can deliver it smoothly. And you can insert, also add the number of words, the time that you need to spend talking, any kind of information that you want to add, you can give it to Claude and they will give you exactly the great text that it's well structured, that you can deliver and get people to act on it. So this is amazing. This is amazing because think about it. If you don't do the homework beforehand, and if you don't do the research, the backstory and write it down, if you don't research what is that you are going to ask them to do, if you don't do all that work, then you go in and tell Claude, give me this and that, it will give you a lot of stuff and it won't be relevant. Now, in terms of the headline generator script, so this is generally the things that you need to do once you want to create a headline. Headlines are very, very powerful, and this is, I think, 50% of your success of any copy. So the first thing that we want to do is want to understand what is my niche and audience. So you want to make sure that you are identifying exactly who is it that you are trying to sell to, what is the number one big results they want. So you want to make sure that you are fully aware of what's that number one thing my audience really want to blah blah. What is the pain they want to avoid? My audience really want to avoid blah blah. What is the roadblock they see holding them back from their goal? Complete statements, even if blah blah. In what time frame can you deliver results? You'll say results in X amount of time. So if we want to do this in terms of regroup all this information into a simple statement, so we can go something like this: how to lose weight without without stop eating carbohydrates in less than 30 days. How to lose 30 pounds without stop eating carbohydrate, because a lot of people, they like their food. So without stop eating your carbohydrate in less than 30 days. Or how to do X so you can avoid the pain. So you can choose whatever you please, but this is a quick structure on how to go about doing your building your headline, because it's so powerful. Once you have a great headline, then everything else it's easier. Here are a few examples that I would like to share with you. So a crash course on how to afford your policy and make it your ATM. This is great. Look at this, make it your ATM, because not everybody is able. A lot of people, they just invest in paying a life insurance and they never see any return out of it. If you can give them some option where they can get into their policy and use it when things get bad, then that would be an amazing opportunity for people. That would be a great aha moment for your audience. Say, hey, this is interesting, what he's talking about. Or 5 steps to buying a policy that pays you for the rainy days. So you get the idea. So you want to make sure that you are delivering headline that can captures people's attention because it speaks to a deep pain they are currently experiencing. Next, how to prompt your AI. So I already spoke about it and briefly, but you want to make sure that you are choosing a market or niche, create persona that's your target customer. Make sure that you are going deep. Go back, please, to the last video I did. In terms, it's called I think the funnel bridge, and you'll see how I we did the deep dive and answer all those questions. And then you start interrogating the AI. Now that you did all the necessary homework, now you dream customer, you can go and buy a domain that speaks to your audience with the pain. Okay, and we're gonna be doing something a very special for just this topic on buying the domain that really speaks to your the pain of your dream customer. Build a funnel bridge with that domain and start marketing the page. Okay, now the reason why this is important because your everything is aligned. So your message, your offer, your lead magnet, everything is aligned and speaks to the customer. Finally, let's start asking questions. Now you go to ChatGPT or Claude and tell them, what objections do I have my product or service? What are your biggest pain points? What do you need to what do you need to fix so you'll be excited to buy my services? What exactly would you need to succeed? AI will provide you with on-demand customer research that you can use for everything, your message, your headline, your content, and everything else. All right. So cool. Thank you so much for being here. I think we've been for the last 26 minutes. Wow. Awesome. All right, guys. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure to put them below in the comments. Uh, this is powerful. This is very powerful. I gave you everything you need to have in order to build your bridge funnel between last episode and this one. You have pretty much everything you need. If you have very specific questions, make sure to put them in the comments, and I will get back with you. Have a great day and talk soon.